What I remember about the rise of the Empire is how quiet it was. During the waning hours of the Clone Wars, the 501st Legion was discreetly transferred back to Coruscant. It was a silent trip. We all knew what was about to happen, what we're about to do. Did we have any doubts? Any private, traitorous thoughts? Perhaps, but no one said a word. Not on the flight to Coruscant, not when Order 66 came down, and not when we marched into the Jedi Temple. Not a word.
I'm giving you some old school footage of Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the original Xbox, on one of my favorite missions where you actually get to go to the Jedi Temple and kill Jedi, which I think is just amazing. And I wanted just to talk about the dark time of Star Wars gaming, which has been 2013 to this current year, since EA has basically fumbled their exclusivity deal with Disney Star Wars, and it's just absolutely insane to me, man. We've had like 5, 6 mid-Star Wars games, and I know some people liked Fallen Order, and you know, story-wise it's good, but I do feel gameplay it was really lacking, and I hope Survivors polishes up what was kind of an unpolished game with Fallen Order. But overall, like, let's just be real here. The EA era of Star Wars was just a complete failure, and I'm glad it's over. It's crazy to me that we never had a Star Wars FPS game or just an online game that was able to take advantage of The Mandalorian Season 1 when that blew up, Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 when that blew up, and just all the extra content. And just, we had all this cool stuff that came to Disney Plus with the TV show, and it's just crazy to me that we didn't have like a live service game that EA was actively maintaining. Because imagine in Star Wars Battlefront 2, we got the Siege of Mandalore map, Commander Rex's armor or whatever when he's with the 332nd, and we got the 332nd with Ahsoka Tano's, you know, red painting on the clone trooper helmet. Like, it's just crazy that Star Wars games hasn't actually taken advantage of the fact Star Wars TV series, you know, on streaming has just been blowing up. Like, sure, Survivors is coming out, but that's not going to take advantage of The Mandalorian, of Clone Wars Season 7, and it's too late now. Like, yeah, you can add that stuff in a later game, but it would have been cool to be able to play these things as they were happening. Imagine in, you know, Battlefront 2 if they would have kept maintaining it and adding new content. Imagine if there was like a Survive Against Clone Troopers Order 66 game mode or something. That would have been so cool, but EA just, for some reason, just fumbled the bag. And it's insane that Star Wars blowing up as it has recently, that no one in the gaming department's been able to take advantage because EA had exclusivity over it. But thankfully now, EA can no longer waste Star Wars because they don't have the exclusivity to it anymore. So what I am hoping for is maybe a different FPS game for Star Wars, like a Republic Commandos or something. And I've been hearing rumors about that Ubisoft open world Star Wars game, and I hope it's good, even though I am holding my breath because it is Ubisoft and they are kings at making boring open world games. But I'm just hoping for more variety. Like, we haven't had a RTS Star Wars game in years. We haven't had a proper Star Wars RPG game in years also. We haven't had anything when it comes to Star Wars because of just how bad EA has treated Star Wars because of their exclusivity. So I'm just really glad to see new companies be able to make the Star Wars games that they want to make and hopefully make them well so we have plenty of content for years. Another thing EA kind of fumbled the bag at is Star Wars storytelling in video games, because except for Fallen Order, we really haven't had any interesting story in Star Wars video games since Force Unleashed or The Force Unleashed 2. Like, we haven't had anything. So I would like to see really good Star Wars stories told in video game format. Even though I mostly play multiplayer games and I like the live service model when it's done well, like in Fortnite, I don't want to see every single Star Wars game come out be a online multiplayer game, because that's kind of tiring and they'll end up just becoming money grabs, and we've already had that for the last 10 years. So we don't need Star Wars to have more money grabbing. We can just have a good Star Wars game. We can have, you know, some more Fallen Orders with the good multiplayer games, and I think us Star Wars fans would be very happy, because as it is right now, all we got is hope. we don't got nothing else because there hasn't been really anything to enjoy. And yeah, you could still play the old games like KOTOR 1 and 2, but we shouldn't have to be relying on those old games as our only source of good Star Wars storytelling. We should be able to get new and interesting stories, but EA doesn't do that, so we've been denied that. But thankfully, they don't have exclusivity, and hopefully they never will again. If you made it this long, thank you for watching the video, and
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.